Hey, I'm back, and we're going to go over a game I played today. It was a pretty long one. I think it was 72 moves. Let me take a look. 78 moves. Sorry, 78 moves. But what it was it was adjusting in from the middle game. I mean the opening middle game to the end game, and you'll get to see how important end game is. I'll show you. Okay, let's do this thing. And I'm white, of course. We're doing the standard London. Okay, that's basically how the London is kind of set up. This is the French. This is kind of like a French attack kind of thing, because the French would have this and then all this different stuff. It's a little different. So, but it could transpose into the French. Like a lot of different openings are able to transpose into different openings. I know that sounds kind of like, huh. Yeah, but they can, like, this could transpose into something else. Right now it's a queen pawns mason attack. Okay. And let's see. Okay, dokie, dokie. Yeah, I'm setting up for an attack. I want to play Harry, and then maybe knight f5, then Harry, maybe bishop to d4 3, queen, and then hammering after that, and with the Harry lift. You never know. There's a whole bunch of different ideas. So, out of all those choices between Harry, here, are here. At the moment, I thought to myself, let's go to principle. Let's go to our principle attack. And what is the principle that we've learned, guys, so far? Development. So, which piece isn't developed? My bishop. So I decided, hey, out of all that, bishop d3 is the best idea. It has dual purpose. It puts it on a really good diagonal, b1 to h7 diagonal. It also allows later on for the queen to go to c2 with a battery against h7. It also allows me to castle if I needed to. It allows Harry to be pushed. There's a whole bunch of different ideas that I could even, if I ever get a nice opportunity, I could do a Greek gift as well. Like if this knight moves, I could play here, knight check. The king would have to come up. All these different things. Let's just say the king's here. Okay, this guy isn't here. I could play here, and the rook's over here. So this rook's here. So king here, rook here. This guy is over here. Okay, so what I do is first play bishop takes h7, king takes bishop on h7, check with the knight. He'd probably go back, then I'd bring the queen into h5, and this would be nothing but sorrow for him in the game. So this is always possible in these type of games. Tactics arise. Like right now, I'm more developed than my opponent. And the reason is, and his position is really cramped. You see how his dark squared bishop is very bad. My light squared and dark squared bishop are stellar. Yes, I have a bad in theory, I have a bad bishop, which would be my dark squared bishop. But yes, it's bad because the majority of the pawns are on the same color as the bishop, but the activity of that bishop outweighs the badness of it. So he castles, which is part of my plan. I play h4. He goes rook to e8. What he's trying to do is give space for the king if somehow this Greek gift starts coming in, or the bishop sacrifice. It has a lot of different names. Bishop there, and then what I'm thinking about doing is playing bishop. See, what he did is he had to play this, because what would happen, I would take, Actually, in this position, the bishop, this doesn't allow for the Greek gift anymore because of the protection of with the bishop. So different setup at this point. All the pieces are different, but potentially this could happen. I have enough attackers that if these guys moved, I could set that up. So just be ready to look for takedowns early in the game. So he plays g6. I take the knight because I want to implant the pawn. I want to play h5. I want to take advantage of this weakness so that when I take, if he takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, and queen takes, check, I have this rook and king battery, queen. So there's a whole bunch. So he takes. I castle because when he moved his king up, it stopped that whole line. So what I decided, what other piece isn't in the battle? Voila, the knight, the queen knight. Now all my pieces are developed. My bishop, my two knights, my queen, my rooks are good, and his position is very cramped. And now it's time I'll show you how I set up a very powerful attack. My idea is, I looked at this setup. I was like, should I take? The only problem with taking here is it allows the queen to come over. So taking would be a bad idea. And if he took here, I could take back. Now I control the whole open file, and it's huge. So I played. I'm going to play knight. Knight b3, c5, attacking the bishops. And it also allows, there's a whole bunch of different ideas that will happen. I could play here, here, and here. You never know. There's different ideas. So I jump in. Now this is a weakness, and that's a weakness. He plays there. I take rook takes, king takes. Because the problem at this point is if the queen takes here, guys, do you see what's hanging? The bishop. So the queen's stuck to the protection of the rook. The bishop. So the king has to take. I take the bishop. The queen comes in. Now I take pawn takes. Because if you notice, the potential of this attack is possible. Takes. He plays queen there. I check. And so my idea is now we're equal with pawns. Let me see, he's up one pawn, but if you notice, these pawns here are really powerful. This one's a pass pawn. So he takes, queen takes, rook takes, check. I come down. Now I'm threatening to come here or get this one rolling up the board, then get in behind it. My king's more active, my position's stronger. His isn't. He plays bishop takes. I play pawn takes. I thought to myself, should I play knight takes? See, if I played knight takes, I think knight takes. I can't actually do that because I would lose. Now I looked at that, I was like, I have no other way but to take, and so he takes and wins a piece. I was like, should I go towards the center? The only problem with going towards the center here is that a rook can come down and check, and then he has the potential of these two pawns to be attacked. So I kind of have to go here for right now. He takes, and then I take, and now I can activate my king. We're going into an endgame. It's kind of different because he's got two center pawns. He's got a pass pawn here. I have protected pass pawns. You have to be careful when you get something similar to this because he's got a pass pawn, I got a pass pawn, and I do not want to let him get too close in. I can't get too close. I'll show you how we do it. I play here because I play it to d4. King d4 prepares an attack on d5, so he can't play e5. If he plays e5, I win a pawn. His position is totally wrecked because these pawns won't allow the king to come in. So I actually have an advantage right at this point because I have him having to decide what he wants to do. So he plays his king there. I play b3. What I'm trying to do is lock this side down, but I want to do it so it benefits me, and I'll show you how I do that. King to f5. I go a3 because I want him to play here. Then I'll play here. He comes down. Then I have the ability to either move here, here. I could even triangulate if I needed to. And it makes him have to move. So you have to look at these ideas. See, now he plays there. I probably, now that I think about it, probably could have played here, here, here. It would have been pretty interesting, to say the least, to see what's going on. But I played the correct move. I'm triangulating. Now, when he pushed his pawn and did that, it locked. Now he's got the theory of two weaknesses. Here, here. The king has to stay in guard there. So I probably could have played g4 at this moment. And I think g4 would have been actually winning, because he'd have to come here, then I come here. He would have to go here, then I can go here, and he might play there. And then all I gotta do is push onward. So now that I look at it, I think this type of pushing was okay. But I played good as well, so I played f3. The idea was, so he's wanting to come in here. And so if I could pass the turn he plays here, I could play right there. And then what happens is he can't come in here, he can't come in there. He'll have to move his king. If he moves here, I take and win. So he can't do that. He plays there. And now I pass the move. Remember we talked about opposition? He moves in, I move in to e4, which now that takes away these two squares. If he pushes here, I take it. If he pushes here, I take it. So what he's going to have to do is play here. I move back because I want to see what he's going to do. I move over. Now potentially he could play here, I could play back. There is a potential draw. See, I take there, there, and then now, remember what we talked about? He should have actually triangulated here. Actually, he has really no choice but to, well, he could have played, let's see, here, I've taken here, here, and then, you know, yeah, in this position he's lost. So what I do is I move back, I pass the move, he has to give way. Then I take, check. I act, you know, in this position, remember we talked about fox in the chicken coop? This is the fox in the chicken coop idea. I give the chicken, which is g4, so that I can get into the chicken coop. I give the one chicken decoy, or the red herring, and then I get in and take the whole chicken coop. So he moves there, I push up, there, I move up, and I calculated. I probably could have played here. I think here might have been a better move because then I can shield him away. Yeah, now that I look at it. See, that's okay too, but too givey of space in my opinion. So I take there, there, there. I check, he moves up. I move my king up, shielding him away from infiltrating. He moves up. I move to b5 because b5 is huge. I could have played, at this point, I could have played b5. I thought about that. Then he plays here. And then I could play here, here, here. Then he plays here, check, takes. Something similar like this does happen. So, but I just wanted to show you what I play. He plays here, there, and I try to get him, like I get him in the corner now. At this point, you got to be careful not to play C7 because that would be stalemate and you would have lost everything. So what you have to do is play D7. Then what you do is you have to sack one pawn because when he plays there, you queen. See, the funniest thing is you think to yourself, do you move your king and allow him to take? No, you queen. And what that does is it makes him take. You move your king. I probably should have played. No, I can't play here because of the stalemate. So I played down here, which, remember what happened when a pawn's on the 6, guys? It doesn't matter even if the king moves here, because you can play. It makes the king give way, and then you come in. Takes. And then if you're ever wanting so that you don't have to chase him down the board, just play queen to b3. What it does is it takes these squares away, forces him to come back up here, and then what you do is you come back and checkmate. Otherwise, you'd have to move your king down the board. It's like, really? Do I really want to do that? You know, especially when you could be low on time, since this is an end game and you're 78 moves into the game. You know, you want to finish quick. And so the quickest way is queen to b3. He moves up and then checkmate. But I wanted to show you how endgames are really important. How we used, even I made kind of some moves that I should have moved a little further up, done a little bit more. But I knew that I had the win because of the study of endgame. That's why it's important that we go over it. That's why I teach it. That's why we do reassess your chess with Jeremy Silman and the endgame with Jeremy Silman. That's why we learn all those. It's not a waste of time. It's time well spent. 1 second. And so what we need to do is, would anyone like to play me? Because I was thinking about doing some tactics, but would anybody like to play me? Because I would like to play you. Anybody? Anyone? I'm here for you. Yeah, I was going to get on a little earlier, but some stuff came up. You know how things are. You have to take care of it. You move on, and sometimes the Lord oh, you want to play? Okay. Sometimes the Lord has you go through certain things because you're supposed to. And it's not a fun it's not a fun thing kind of to have to go through, but you do it, you learn from it, and then you move on. Like I pray that one player that I faced took his game back, found out where his move sequences kind of had some flaws in it, and then he applied it so that he could get better. See, that's the reason we win at chess. If our opponents play, you know, let's just say not the best of moves, we need to win. Then they can go back and find out where they went wrong and improve. So if we feel bad for our opponents, don't do that. And then afterwards, if they want, They could play in the Skittles room with you. You guys can work it out. It's called the Skittles room. It was funny. That's just the name of it. And you can learn there. They have boards set up, and you can train. You can even play there in between tournament times to get warmed up. So just remember that chess is about helping us get our rating high and also helping others to get better. It's also good for your brain as well. It allows you to think good, and you get to do a lot of things in life, and it'll help you. Gary Kasparov had a book. I hope I'm pronouncing the book right. How Life Imitates Chess. I believe that's the name of it, and if it's not, I apologize. But yeah, he even wrote a book on how life is chess set up as well. Let's see. I'll just play here. I like Jeremy Silman's book because he talks to you about it. Who'd have thunk that the chicken coop, the fox in the chicken coop, you remember that now, don't you? Because he gives you a visual example in your mind of where to, what it is, and you can see it. You're like, I give this pawn over here. Then all of a sudden, I don't need to do that anymore. I give it up, come over and win these pawns. So, let's see, what do I want to do here? I'm thinking about playing, I'm going to play bishop d7. You know what, develop my last piece. Why not? It can't hurt, so I'm not complaining. Interesting. I'm gonna take. I know it's kind of like crazy to do that, but sometimes you have to take advantages of the weaknesses that are left behind. Like, I'm taking advantage of that weakness. Oh, interesting. So, he takes there. Okay. My opponent probably is going to play f4. There's no doubt about it. And then what you have to do is you have to think about what is left behind at that point. And you just think about that. And after a while the board will it'll just come to life. And you'll understand what you need to play. So just remember to keep an eye out for moves like fork skewers, checks. Remember, knights are really tricky in how they play. You could be a knight versus a rook, and if you play correctly, you can win the game. So it's not about the piece. It's about how do you use that piece. And that's why I was able to move to d3 was d3 attacks the bishop, and it attacks other stuff. It attacks here, here, all different types of move sequences. And remember, the goal is checkmate. It's not about material. Sometimes you have to give a little bit to get a lot. I guess that's a good title that I like. Give a little to get a lot. Well, excuse me. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Do-do-do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of sack a pawn here for just a sec. But we'll get it back. Let's see, there's a ton of different ideas. Maybe here, maybe here. Because that's an idea that could be played. I have to make sure that that doesn't give me a problem. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to play there first. Oh shoot, that was a bad move. That was bad. I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken with the bishop. Drat. Well, actually, at this point, I probably should have played here. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. never know, you know. There's always a potential that you can draw. So, just fight to the very end. Let's see, how can we do this? Yeah, we'll give it a shot there, you know. I'm probably gonna lose this, but I'm gonna give it my best. Do, 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 do. Yep, I'll rematch you. Okay, sometimes you can't win them all. You make mistakes. Like that was a bad mistake. Well, you learn from it. I know where I made the mistake, and so I won't do it again. Do, 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 do. Yeah, and now you have to punish these small mistakes in the position. Like, like that was a mistake, and you have to punish that. You have to. Otherwise, what happens if you let your opponent get away with those things? You're aiding him. You don't want to do that. You want to defeat him and move on and make sure that he gets better. And the only way to do that is to win. So remember, win, win. Remember, if you don't win, you're not helping. You're not helping your opponent out. You need to win to help him out. Like, do you see how I'm slowly just taking all these pieces? I'm helping my opponent get better, so they can go back and see where they need to work on it. Let's see, what do we want to do here? Let's bring the hammer down. We got to take advantage of every weakness that we could see. Everyone. And so you see how flawless the game was? This is how you need to play. You see how I just played? This is how you need to play. Because you don't give your opponent any breath rooming, either any breathe, because this game is over. It's game over. There's no way to save the position. It's over. Resignation would be correct at this point for your opponent. They may try to say prove it. Hey, if they want you to prove it, win, and then you can go back through and show them where they made a mistake, and they can learn from it. Remember, there is no loss. There's learning. Yeah, you just take here. You see how it's basically over. They could just that was the only move that would. There's now two mates. I have two different type of mates I could play. I could play here. Yeah, we'll do one more. Gotta have a tie break. We need a tie break. Let's play. All right, I get to read. I'm gonna avenge my loss as black. This time, I'm not gonna make that same mistake. You gotta play. There we go. Now we're getting ready for the takedown. We're ahead in development, and it's break point now. about this. Let's see. I just gotta do that. I hate having to do that. The correct move was actually here. You would have won. At least had a perpetual. Because remember the rook battery idea? Oh boy. That was a mistake there. Ah, shoot. I can't believe I made that mistake. Move there, I shouldn't have taken. Ah, materialism. That's okay. I think I still have an opportunity here. Yeah. see. Wherever white goes, he loses. Doesn't matter. Now I'll just push here. Okay, let's analyze this position because I want to go back and show you where I kind of made a mistake. is that? Where's that? Yeah, I just gotta check something out though. There's... Okay, that's why. That's why it didn't work. It was there was a check. Gotcha. Well, actually, you could have played at this point, right here. And then, I'm not sure. What does it say you could do? It says takes there, takes here. See the mate? Yikes. I blundered totally there. Yeah, I should have played here first. And then you have there. Then rook, yeah. Okay, I learned something there. That was kind of scary. Okay, guys, with that, see how we even went over where I made a mistake and I should have lost? Just remember, even your wins and your losses are the ability for learning. So remember, keep up the fight, guys. That's important. And remember, like Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, guys, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a great night, great rest, and I'll see you